I really want to go ahead and talk about this because to me it's kind of ironic. So let me go ahead and introduce to you guys this man. If you guys don't know who he is, his name is Nick Fuentes. Okay, now Nick Fuentes, he is, I guess a lot of people like to identify him as white, but when he's in trouble, that's the last thing he wants to identify as.
You're like a YouTube channel or something?
Yeah.
You're saying you're a white supremacist?
I'm not a white supremacist. I'm Mexican. My last name's Fuentes.
I know. I kind of
white supremacist.
I saw the last name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, did you say that you're not a white supremacist and that you're Mexican and that your last name is Fuentes? Why didn't you tell the cop that, listen, people misunderstand what I say online. You see, I believe that racists should stick to their own races and should never cross over to another race. He should have told the cop that. Maybe the cop would have been understanding. I don't know. But I really would have wanted to see what the cop would have thought if he heard those words come out from Nick's mouth. Now, if you don't know who Nick Fuentes is, he's a live streamer, an individual who he likes to be provocative. Now, racist, I don't know if he is a racist or not because I haven't seen enough of his content to really determine that. But a lot of people online call him white supremacist. They call him racist, misogynistic. As a matter of fact, we're going to get into that right now because he ended up producing a video that literally took the entire online sphere by storm.
Hey, bitch, we control your bodies. Guess what? Guys win again, okay? Men win again. And yes, we control your bodies. It's your body, my choice. Men win again. There will never, ever be a female president. Never. There will never be a female president, ever.
Yeah, so some really inflammatory stuff from Nick. Now, I don't think that you need to be a genius to realize just how this went for him. I could tell you this right now that you probably would have had a much better time prank calling your bully with your actual phone number. Because from that point forward, it's just been hell for Nick. That very influential rant of Nick's ended up moving people in the wrong direction because women came together and collaborated to bring some sort of justice to Nick. And one of the ways that they did that was by doxing him completely, showcasing his home online. And of course, a couple of people showed up to his house, including this one incident where this woman showed up and he immediately just came out and pepper sprayed her.
Hi. Oh my God, what are you doing?
Get the fuck out of here.
Now, if we were to go by what the video showcased to us, obviously you could tell that the woman did not aggressively approach Nick at all. If anything, she was just attempting to knock on the door. Instead, Nick came out and pepper sprayed her without any reason. At least according to what the current narrative is, that could potentially change in the future. But as of now, it just seems like she innocuously approached the door for I don't know what reason. But nonetheless, he pepper sprayed her, and of course they ended up taking him in, and they ended up taking his mugshots. And just recently, there was somebody who ended up approaching the door. This time it was not a woman, but instead a would-be assassin, apparently. And this is significant because you can see that this man is reaching into his bag, pulls out and brandishes a weapon, potentially indicating to the viewer that he was planning on using it on Nick. And the reason why we know it's Nick is because he calls out to Nick in that video.
Yo, Nick!
This is a pretty scary situation because even in that same footage, you can see that this man is reaching for the doorknob, turning it, ensuring to himself that this door is locked because he was making an attempt to get into the door. But obviously because it was locked, it's the only thing that really kept him outside of the house. And the person who ended up showing up to his home, his name was John Lyons. And what's even more insane, if it wasn't an already insane story, was that there's a twist to it. Apparently this guy, John Lyons, before showing up to Nick's home, committed a triple homicide.
Lyons is the same man wanted for a triple homicide in Mahomet, Illinois, about 10 miles outside of Champaign, just 2 hours earlier. There, the Champaign County Coroner's Office says 3 family members were shot and killed. The victims were 23, 26, and 61 years old.
That is absolutely insane. Can you imagine if Nick attempted to open the door and pepper spray this guy? Judging by the fact that he's already had 3 homicides, he was definitely using auto aim, and he was most likely going to eliminate Nick if that was the case. All right, so I believe I've caught you up with all the details in the story. And this leads us to the part where Nick is speaking with the officer. Now, this is significant because oftentimes when he's speaking with people, he usually likes to highlight the fact that he's white. Now, to give you a bit of context here, because I'm going to show you a clip, essentially he's speaking to Abba, Sneako, and JiDion, and he's saying that he wants to marry somebody that looks like him, that has green eyes, pale skin, which if that's your preference, that's fine. But the thing that I want to highlight is that he doesn't mention that, you know, he's Hispanic or Mexican.
The thing is about people's identities is that people's identities are complex. So it's not so much to say, oh, well, I'm more Catholic than I am white. I mean, I'm both. I'm Catholic and I'm white.
Now, there's extra details that are long and winded. If you want to know more about the context, go look up the interview. But the point of this is that he downplays the fact that he's Mexican, and JiDion reminds him like, yo, bro, you're a light-skinned Mexican, you know. And again, Nick reinforces the idea, well, I have light skin and, you know, light brown hair. So essentially he's indicating like, yeah, no, dude, but I'm white.
You're Mexican. You have Mexican in you.
Okay, but I have brown hair. I have white skin.
You know what I realize about white people?
Bro, you know how many light-skinned Mexican people I know?
Yeah, okay. Well, point being is I want to marry someone that looks like me. That's a very human thing.
You see how when he talks to people online, he downplays the fact that he's Hispanic or Mexican and instead reminds people that he's white or has light brown hair. But when he's about to get into trouble with an officer, the race card, he pulls it out immediately. He's like, oh, I'm not white supremacist. I'm Hispanic. My last name is Fuentes. I mean, unless I'm colorblind, this is Hispanic. Now, it could be the case that he probably represents his Mexican heritage, but from what I've seen online, oftentimes when they highlight his moments, it's never in the light of, look, I'm Mexican or I'm Hispanic. It's usually, oh, I'm white, you know? So that's why I said that I haven't seen enough of his content, but I find it ironic that every single time I do see him online or face to face with somebody, this is kind of what I see. And for the people who are going to make the argument and say, oh, well, Hispanic isn't a race, it's an ethnicity. Okay, first off, I've never seen, from the times I've seen Nick, I've never seen him use the phrase white Hispanic. And second, you know what he's trying to do, man. Like when he's speaking to the officer, he's saying Hispanic, Fuentes, because he knows that that's going to attenuate all these thoughts that the cop could potentially have of him, which obviously, oh, this guy's a white supremacist, you know? So of course he's trying to assure the cop, I'm not a white supremacist because I'm a Mexican, I'm Hispanic, and my last name is Fuentes. How can that be? Well, I kind of want to go ahead and kind of counter argue that. No, Hispanics can definitely be white supremacists, and it can range anywhere from light skin to brown skin. At least those are the people that I've seen ever join the ranks when it comes to white supremacy. But yeah, it definitely does happen. So I just kind of want to just go ahead and just talk about that. Thought it was a bit ironic that Nick Fuentes said that. Yeah, that's really all I have for you guys. And yeah, hopefully you guys learned something today.